Are you thinking about leaving PTA to become a PTO? Well, that might sound like a really good idea at the time, but gotta tell ya, I do not recommend it. I'm gonna get into that in today's video, which was inspired by a reader question. So she writes, we as parents and teachers would like to go from a PTA to a PTO, but we aren't sure how to go about this. Can you help with this? So I actually think I did kind of help with this whole decision because I told her, don't leave PTA. I totally don't recommend it. And I have outlined the reasons kind of why in a different video. I believe it's called Should You Leave PTA? And I've written a blog post about it as well, and I will certainly link to that down below. But the biggest reason is that you are totally going to have to start from scratch, like from absolute scratch. You're going to need to get new bank accounts and start the 501c3 certification process all over. And I just think that the time that is involved with setting up the new legal organization, because at the end of the day, that is what you are. You're a new business, a new legal organization, and the time that it takes, not to even mention the money, could be better. You could use that time to make your school community a better place. You could use that time to tweak what you don't like about being a PTA. But I just don't think it's any, I really cannot think of a situation where it would be a good idea long term to leave PTA to become a PTO. And that's because I've just seen too many things go wrong with groups that are not affiliated with PTA. And I feel like the value that PTA brings of the organization, the resources, the potential training, that all of that is worth more than the hassle that it sometimes is to be a PTA. Because let's face it, sometimes it is. Sometimes you get a new, like a regional advisor who's kind of annoying and you just don't want to deal with them. And sometimes you might think, oh, why are we paying dues? Like, there's a lot of reasons why you might not want to be in a PTA, but at the end of the day, I think it's always worth it to be in a PTA versus not being affiliated and just being kind of out on your own. Because, and like I said, I've gone into those reasons in that blog post. I'm not going to recount them here. So I totally encourage you to go check out that video. But there's just a lot involved. And if you are a PTA and you are a 501c3, which you probably are if you're a PTA, then all of the money you raised cannot just go to the new PTO unless it is also a 501c3. So you're going to have to wait to make the switch anyway, because you're going to have to wait until you have filed and heard back from the IRS about 501c3 tax exempt status. The money that you raised, if you're a 501c3, has to go to another 501c3. There's no exception. And that is kind of to prevent tax fraud, because you don't want people, the IRS doesn't want people raising money saying it's going to a charitable organization and then all of the money, for example, be given to someone who's running for, let's say, the Board of Education, right? I don't know why that would happen, but just as a goofy example, like the people who gave money would really feel like, we thought this money was going to the school. We didn't intend this money to go to like pretty much anybody else, but the IRS has carved out or does have the requirement that can go to another 501c3. But unless, like I said, unless you have that set up right from the get-go with the new PTO, you're going to have to give that money away to a different 501c3. And I really don't think you want that to happen. At the end of the day, the pros of being in a PTA are vastly, and I mean vastly, cannot stress this enough, vastly win out. Stick with PTA and tweak what doesn't work and find a way for it to work for you. I know that even my own units have struggled a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was clear there was really no question about it. So I hope this is super helpful for you if you were considering this. I'm not getting paid by PTA to say this. This is just kind of like a core belief of mine that that's a great organization, even with all its faults. And so you should stick with it and make it work for you in your school district. So if you enjoyed this video, then I hope you will go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can get alerted to when I add new videos, and reach out if you have any questions. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.